I'm not happy with that. This is where my stubborn, finicky side comes in. You get to a point where you can get the shape, but the bottom will stop it going in where you want it to go. So I take it off with a grinder. Not all the time, but on the Chelsea emblem, I had to do it all the time. You see, you get into the curve of the water droplet there, whereas a minute ago it was going the other way. So it just allows you to just fine tune your work. Also, what I'm trying to do here, I'm governed by obviously my lines. I've marked this into squares so that I don't drift with the glass, because I could quite easily drift up and end up with see, just get my bottle glue.
Do you get a huge amount of satisfaction from doing this?
I do, yeah. Especially with the finished, when I finished, you know, and I can look back at it and I know what hard work have gone into it. People can't appreciate what hard work have gone into it. And I can understand that because they don't see you making it. But I'm never 100% happy with anything I finish, but I think that's a good thing, because you can become complacent and think, yeah, I know it all and everything else, but you never know it all. There's always something new to learn, and people tend to develop their own ways of doing things and cut in, and so I can just take out that, keep me shape, without straightening it up. I don't know, I don't know if anyone else does this, but again, this is one of my little quirky ways of doing things. So when that's the PVA, we only use normal PVA to do this type of work. So, but it's once it's grouted, it's all protected and sealed in, and you don't get any trouble with it. If it's left ungrouted, it gets very brittle and it can come off. Now this one I made back in '84, and it's an interpretation of a John Piper tapestry, and I've used different methods in this. I've used Palladianum, which is the background, and the reason I've used that is I really wanted it to push out the foliated heads, and tessellatum, the straight lines down here, although it's not true tessellatum because it's actually following to a degree the lines, but again this pushes out the details. I made this one in vitreous glass mosaic. There's a mixture here, it's Bezzazza mosaic, Ansar mosaic, which was made in Western Supermare back in the 60s, and you can't get it anymore. That's the bright blue. And I can't remember how long this took, but there was a lot of work involved in this one. It took a lot of time. I actually got a letter from John Piper saying how much he liked it. So it's quite it means a lot to me, this one.
You got any other pieces you could show us?
Yeah, I have, yeah. I've got a Porsche badge, which I've been working on. This is the sample. Now this is, I haven't done nothing with this yet. I'm planning on taking it or sending it to Porsche and seeing if they'd be interested in having the badge made in the mosaic. Again, in this one, I've used the palladianum, a lot smaller on this. This is fine palladianum, and again, it's pushing out the horse and the text, and then the opus vermiculatum I've used on the horse. As you can see, it brings the horse to life. Again, the andamento is everything. This is what gives it its flow. The background glass is vitreous glass from Bezzazza. The actual gold is made in Italy, in Venice, by a company called Orsoni. And as I said earlier, they made the materials for Gaudi on the Basilica. And I'm still I've got designs as well for this, but this is as far as I've got. So hopefully someone out there will want this made, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, these panels were made for some niches, and they're in Smalty and or Sony gold, but the flat gold this time, so they're, you know, it doesn't reflect as much as the ripple, but it's still got a lovely effect to it. And they took over a month to make, so there's a lot of work in there, and it's very fine because of you've had to cut the Smalty down so fine, and because they were going on to paper, it makes the Smalty flat, not like with the birds I'm working on, where it's, if you fell against it, you cut your hand. With this, it's smooth. You could rub a glass across that and it wouldn't tip.
How do you choose your sort of colours of what to use? And is that down to you or down to the customer?
Well, the client gives you a brief. They always give you a brief, because obviously if they're having a palace or whatever, wherever they live, decorated, they know what they want. So we're given a brief on the colours, and then we design to their colours. For this, there is hundreds of different shades in this Smalty. Every time they produce some, they never get the same colour. So every batch is different. You never ever match it up, so you've got to make sure you buy in the right amount. And the colour chart is actually here. This isn't the full range, but this shows what a vast range there is. And this material to the left is plaquette, which Orsoni was playing around with, and he flattened the Smalty, so you've got the beauty of the colours and the beauty of the quality of the glass, but it's flat. So if you made something with that, you wouldn't need to, you could go direct and still be flat. While we're talking about materials, this here is Ansar mosaic. Now this is what I've got in stock. Now you can't get this anywhere, so I'm very lucky to have it. And this is as good a quality as any of this, but this was vitreous, and this was when it was handmade on pancakes, and they cut it out in squares, and you get the unevenness of it, which gives it that sort of Smalty texture.